I asked you guys what the best side income to try out was, and you overwhelmingly voted for sports betting. So I've had COVID this week, so I've given it a go. So why am I trying this? Well, if you've been following the channel for a little while, you'll know that I'm trying to build up £1,000 a month in extra income after I quit my job without a backup plan. And so sports betting is actually the first side income I've tried and published on this channel. So let's get into it. What actually is sports betting? Now, there's actually a couple of different types of sports betting. Some of them I'm not actually going to try in this video, but some I am. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview. The first one is what I call sports trading. Now, sports trading is a little bit different to the next methods I'll talk about, in that you're actively sitting there watching a sporting event. It might be a horse race or it might be a football game, and as the odds change depending on which horse is winning or which football team is winning, you're placing more and more bets. So the idea is that whatever the outcome is, you've covered all your positions, so as the odds change, you always walk out with a profit. Now, I watched a couple of videos on sports trading, and I also watched a couple of horse races and watched the odds chop and change as the horse race was going on, and very quickly realised I'm not sure I can do the mental maths and type in the numbers quick enough and place the bets quick enough to make it worth my time. So I very quickly ruled that out, and next decided to have a look at statistical sports betting. And there's two branches of this really that I consider. The first is arbitrage betting. Now, arbitrage betting is where you can bet on every outcome of an event, and whatever the outcome is, you make a little bit of money. And that could be just because of how the odds are priced across different bookmakers and exchanges, but generally, from what I saw when I was doing my research, they actually come up quite a lot, but only actually last for seconds or minutes before they get arbitraged away by bots or people who are looking for arbitrage bets. So again, I didn't want to spend all day glued in front of a computer, so I decided to rule arbitrage betting out. The next method is more of a statistical method of betting, and that's where you build your own statistical models and then you bet using those, betting against a bookmaker or betting against other punters on an exchange. So that might take the form of, say, a football tournament such as the English Premier League. You might model out all the teams, all their home games, all their away games, who's played in the different games, how many goals they typically score, how many goals the opponents typically let in, all these kind of potential inputs that you might have from previous data to help you try and predict what's going to happen in future games. The idea then being that you're looking for discrepancies between what you believe is going to happen from your statistical models and what the bookmakers believe is going to happen from their betting odds. Now, once again, I looked at that and I looked at how much work there'd be to build up the models behind it. I've not done multivariate regression analysis for quite a few years now, not since I was at uni, and I didn't really want to get back involved in that. So I ruled that one out again. So that really only left me with one type of sports betting, and that's something known as match betting. Now, what's great about match betting is that you are guaranteed to make a profit whatever the outcome. So that was a tick in the box for me. The next thing was there's so many guides out there and it's really simple to do. Now, it helps that I've had a little bit of experience in it before, but even if you're a newbie to it, I'd say it's pretty easy to pick up. Now, there are a couple of different ways I could do this. Because I've quit my job, I've currently got lots of free time on my hands. So I thought about just hitting it really hard last week, doing 20, 30, 40 hours of matched betting. I probably couldn't do much more than that with COVID, but I thought that would give the biggest number. I could make a really great thumbnail saying how I made thousands match betting, but I didn't think that was really realistic for what you're doing, and it's not really what I want to be doing, basically as a full-time job on the side. So I decided to just do an hour or two a day for 7 straight days and see where that would leave me. And towards the end of this video, I'll reveal how that went, giving you the day-by-day breakdown and also show you the hourly rates of what I made matched betting. The idea is that you bet on every outcome, but you take advantage of free offers from bookmakers. So in the same way that when you place an arbitrage bet, you're betting on every outcome and you're guaranteed a profit, you get the same thing with matched betting, except because you're using free money that the bookmakers have given you, you don't need the odds to work out in your favour. You can do it with almost any combination of games. Now, I've actually done match betting probably 5 or 6 years back when I was at uni, and back then it was quite lucrative, but I've heard a lot of stuff online about it's pretty dead now or it's not as good as it used to be, so I thought I'd give it a try again and find out. So I'm very quickly going to go over the details of how match betting works. Now, if you already know this, I'll leave a timestamp in the description below so you can skip ahead to when I start giving the results. But for those of you who aren't familiar, I really recommend watching this because it will help get an idea of what the process is that I've been doing in the background. So the simplest form of matched betting is is known as the sign-up offers. Now, there's loads of different ways that you can do match betting, and the best match bettors will make use of lots of different ways. So there's these sign-up offers, there are things called two-ups, there are accumulators, there are bet builders, there are casino offers, there's all sorts. So most of what I did in this video is sign-up offers, and so that's if you're not registered at the bookmaker already, you can sign up and you get a welcome offer typically. So the welcome offers often take the form of bet £5, get £20 of free bets. Now it's those free bets that we're really interested in. So in that example, we would need to deposit £5 at a bookmaker to place a bet. Whatever the outcome of that bet is, we then unlock a free bet afterwards. Now, we obviously don't know what the outcome of these events are going to be. So we hedge our bets by betting against ourselves somewhere else. We're not going to make any money from the qualifying bet. It's just to help us unlock that free bet that comes later down the line. We're going to find an event with limited outcomes. We'll then place a £5 bet at the bookies for, say, a home football team to win. And we'll then place what's known as a lay bet at a sports exchange. Now, there's a couple of terms there that you need to be aware of. So a lay bet is just saying that something won't happen. So normally when you place a bet at a bookmaker's, you're betting something will happen, not that something won't happen. Now that means, say we've got Ipswich Town versus Norwich City in a football game, we could place a back bet at a bookmaker's for Ipswich to win, but there's still two other outcomes that bet hasn't covered. And so if we place a lay bet on Ipswich to win, we're saying that Ipswich won't win, and that covers the draw or Norwich winning as the away game. Now, because of the way odds work at bookmakers and exchanges, we'll actually make a small loss on whatever the outcome of that bet is. So if we run the numbers here, say £5 bet at a bookie, £5 bet at a sports exchange, let's say the home team win, that bet will win and the other bet will lose. So our bet that loses, we obviously go to £0, so we've lost that £5 that we placed on that bet. But the bet that won, we might get £9.50 back or something like that. And so that means we've used £10 to place our bets, but we've only got £9.50 back at the end. So we've lost 50p on the qualifying bets. But have no fear, that doesn't matter, because now we've unlocked a £20 free bet. And we just rinse and repeat what we've just done. So we place our £20 back bet at a bookie, £20 lay bet at an exchange. Again, we've covered every outcome. The event happens, one bet will go to £0, and the other bet, if we use the same ratios for our trigger bet here, would return us, say, £38. Now, because we only used £20 of our own money, and we've got £38 back, we've actually made an £18 profit off that free bet. So across the two sets of bets, we lost 50p at one, we made £18 on the other, so from that sign-up offer, we made £17.50. And that's really all there is to it for the sign-up offers. I won't go into details about how the rest of it works, because that's something you only really need to know about if you get started with match betting. So what were the actual results that I got over the course of 7 days of match betting? Now, I mentioned earlier that I've done match betting before, and that was quite a long while ago now, sort of 6-7 years ago. Now, at the time, I used a company called Profit Accumulator because they had loads of calculators that helped you work out what was the best bets to place. I believe they're now called Outplayed, but I decided to try a different company. So this time I used a company called OddsMonkey. Now, OddsMonkey were around when I was looking at this 6 or 7 years ago, so they've got a track record, they've been around a while. For those of you that are worried about a scam, I can assure you they're not a scam company. They've got loads of great reviews on Trustpilot, so I was happy enough using them. Now, they offer different tier levels for payments, so there is a cost associated with using their tools. So the first tier is a free trial tier where you don't have to pay anything, and you can make about 30 to 40 quid from the offers that they show you how to do on that. The second tier is their standard premium tier, and their third tier is their all access tier. Now, just as a disclosure, I've actually signed up to their top tier, their all access tier, because that gives you access to not only the sportsbook offers, but also casino offers. Now, for what I did in this first week, I didn't actually need the all access tier. I could have got away with their normal tier of payment. But actually, in the long run, for match betting, most of the money is made at the casino offers. So if it is something you really want to give a long-term go to, then you're going to need to sign up to those higher level tiers. But don't worry, you'll easily make the money back, as I'm about to show you. Now, what's great about tools like this is for the sign-up offers, they have them all listed out. They tell you exactly what to do, how much money you're going to need. It's literally just like one click, and it shows you all the different bets you need to place. I'd actually linked up my sports exchange account. I was using a place called Smarkets for this. So Smarkets is where I was laying all my bets, and I could connect that up to OddsMonkey, which meant when I was placing the 2 bets for each offer, I actually only needed to place one of them. I could just click a button on the OddsMonkey website and it would place one of the bets for me. Now, depending on how quickly you want to hit match betting, you need different amounts of money. So the more offers you want to do at once, the more money you're going to need in your account. Whereas if you only want to do offers one at a time, you can actually get away with fairly little money. I'd probably suggest somewhere around £100 to get started, although the more the better. Now, because I've only recently quit my job, that meant I could do a number of offers at once because I have a little bit of money behind me. So again, as a full disclosure, I used about £1,110 as my starting bankroll. So I'll put that on the screen and I'll show you my profit based on that amount every day afterwards. Now, you could match bet with a lot less than that. You could get started with, I probably wouldn't want to start with less than 100 quid, but I think you probably could. But that's probably your floor of what you want to start with. So on day 1 of match betting, I bet for 1.5 hours. So that was getting accounts set up, placing a lot of trigger bets, some free bets along with that as well. And I made £37.84, which takes my total to £1,147.84. Day 2, another 1.5 hours match betting, this time only £23.96 in profit. So my total amount is now £1,171.80. Day 3, I spent 2 whole hours doing match betting. Now, I didn't actually do that 2 hours straight. I split these up across the days. So when I say an hour, it might have been half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening, for example. And in those 2 hours, I made £61.74, taking my total to £1,233.54. Now, by day 4, I didn't really have much time for match betting on day 4. I was feeling pretty grim because I was ill. So I only spent half an hour match betting on day 4 and only made £6.47. So that takes the total to £1,240.01. Day 5, I spent 1 hour match betting and I made £49.21. Now, that was quite a productive hour because I got quite a few free bets from the day before. So that took my total to £1,289.22. Day 6, I spent 3/4 of an hour, so 45 minutes, and I made £16.29 for my running total of £1,305.51. And then finally, day 7, I put in 1.5 hours and again had loads of free bets to use up, so it was a big day, and I made £103.76 from that 1.5 hours. So my total is £1,409.27. That means I made £299.27 across 9 hours and 45 minutes. Now that's £34.20 an hour in the UK. Now, gambling winnings are tax-free in the UK, so I keep that £34 an hour that I made. For those of you in other countries, that's about $44 an hour, but again, your tax status on gambling might be different in other countries. Now, there's a few things that I did to get myself set up that you should be aware of. The first is that I used a separate account for all my bets. So that means I got a debit card set up for all the betting. The debit card didn't actually arrive straight away, but Lloyds, who I used for this account, let you access all your card details before your card arrives, so that was fine. I also got a free SIM card, so this one says 50p on it, but you could actually order it online for free. My phone takes 2 SIM slots, so I could just pop in the SIM into my phone, and that meant when I signed up to all these bookmakers, when I was ticking to receive all their marketing communications, it was going to a phone number that I didn't really use or could just take the SIM out of my phone when I didn't want to use it. All the money was easily tracked because I was using a separate account, and they also actually set up a separate email account so that all the emails went to that. And that just means if I don't want to continue with the match betting at the end, I can just throw away the SIM card, I can close down the bank account once I've withdrawn all the money, and I can just never look at that email account again. You should also be aware with match betting that you can get your accounts banned if you have suspicious behaviour. So the bookmakers, they're not stupid. They'll be tracking exactly what bets you're placing, and if they see that you only place bets on sports events where you get free bets or positive outcomes afterwards, they're likely to start restricting your account. So that means they could change the maximum amount you can bet with, or they could stop you betting at all. Now, you can always withdraw your money when that happens, but when it does happen, it reduces the amount of profit that you can make. So what I'll be doing going forwards long term, if I continue with match betting, is placing what's known as a gub bet. So that's the occasional, maybe just £1 bet on like an English Premier football game, just betting on an outcome, even when I know that I'm not going to get any return or free bets from that. because £1 is fairly small to lose in the grand scheme of things, and it just reduces that percentage of suspicious behaviour that bookmakers might be looking for. The other thing that I'd really recommend that you do if you try match betting is try not to bet on random Turkish third division football games for teams that no one's ever heard of. Stick to names that people will have known, big football games, big tennis games, televised horse races. Don't really use the horse races that aren't televised, because again, that's just suspicious behaviour. The bookmakers very quickly latch onto that and you'll get banned or gubbed. Now, through this week, I didn't get banned or gubbed, and I would have been pretty surprised if I did, but it's something that's happened to me in the past, so just be aware of that. The other thing I did was I tracked all my bets on a spreadsheet. So this is what my spreadsheet looks like, and you can see I placed 112 bets across the week. But you'll see also on this spreadsheet, I kept a track of whether I'd received the free bets or not. And you'll see there were a couple that I haven't actually received yet. So there's a few more free bets that I've still got to come. And there's actually plenty of other bookmakers that I haven't signed up for yet. Now, OddsMonkey do actually let you keep track of your profit on their system. But I actually found it was easier to do it in my own spreadsheet, because then I can attach all this extra detail that isn't in the OddsMonkey system. So if match betting is something you want to give a go after seeing my results, I'll leave a link to that spreadsheet down in the description below. Now, I said I've actually done match betting before, and I typically used to make between £500 and £1,000 a month doing match betting. So about 300 quid in a week that I've done here is on par with that, but probably at the higher end of that. Now, the sign-up offers are more lucrative than a lot of the reload offers that you'll get. So that's every week you might get more promotions from, say, Bet365 saying, here's another free bet if you bet £10, for example. So most of the money actually becomes from casino offers as the ongoing income from match betting. And so that's something I haven't really touched on in this video, but OddsMonkey will guide you through the entire process, much the same as their sign-up offers, where they show you exactly what the steps you need to do are, how much money you'll need, and they have all the tools pre-programmed, so it's just literally a couple of clicks to use. They do exactly the same with the casino offers, so it's super easy to use if you want to get into match betting. And to be honest, if you live in the UK and you have a bit of spare time and want to make some money, match betting is an absolute no-brainer. Where else are you going to find 35 quid an hour pretty much, tax-free as well, that you can just turn on and turn off like a tap if you need some extra money? And so that's why I think, frankly, you're a bit crazy if you're not doing it and you want some extra money and have the time. It's something I'm going to keep in my arsenal of things that I can rely on if I need some money coming in. But I am actually going to look at some other side incomes over the next sort of month or two, which I'm going to report on here on the channel. Now, I actually really enjoyed using OddsMonkey as well. Their guides were so much better than I remember everything being 5 or 6 years ago. The videos were really clear. They literally have step-by-step instructions on how to do everything. It tells you exactly how much to bet, at what odds, at what bookmaker. You can also link your exchange account to OddsMonkey, which meant that of the 2 bets you need to place for every time you're placing a bet, one of them was literally just one click of a button from within the OddsMonkey website. So you didn't even have to visit the site and fill out a bet slip like you do with the other half of the bet. And that made it super straightforward. Once you get into the groove, literally signing up to these betting accounts all requires the same information. I just had it listed in a document next to me. I just copy and paste it all into all the fields, sign up, verify my email, deposit the money, and then it literally takes a couple of minutes to place the bets that you need to qualify for the free bets. So I'd really recommend it as a service. Even if you don't want to pay for it, there's a free trial you can do where you can make about 30 or 40 quid just signing up. Now, don't expect to be super quick at these bets if you're brand new to match betting, because it might take a little while just to get your head around. But once you get going, I promise you it does get so much quicker. Now, as a disclosure, I am a signed up paid member of OddsMonkey now, and I'll be continuing my sign up offer for quite a long while, to be honest, because it's basically just free money. If it's something you want to have a go at as well, I do actually have an affiliate link in the description below where there's no extra cost to you, but I get a little bit of a kickback as a thank you for showing you how to do it. So if that's something that interests you, again, I'll pop a link in the description. I'll also pop a link in the description to my spreadsheet where I was tracking everything. So if you want a copy of that, you're more than welcome to it for free. If you've got any other side incomes that you want me to have a go at, like any side hustle type things or actual businesses you want me to have a go at trying to grow, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you've got any questions about match betting, leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.